When you ask people what they like about developing with Swift UI, often they tell you it's about the quick feedback they get when you work with a preview in Xcode. So preview is the view on the right side of your window where you can see what's going on. When you change something in your layout, then it's just rendered and shown you. There is a package that also adds something like that to UIKit projects or also to Swift UI projects. But not only it doesn't just refresh your view, it refreshes your complete app while it's running in the simulator. It's called hot reloading, and it's known if you're working with web-based projects, you already know hot reloading. For example, React Native or something like that. But you can also get that in Swift projects, UIKit or Swift UI, if you want to. It doesn't work as well as in web projects, but it works surprisingly well for the amount of changes you have to add to your project. Let me show you how this works. First of all, I switch to my screen, and we are going to use a package that's called hot reloading. And I will link the project in the description. You can find it there. And what we have to do to use that in the project, we have to copy the URL of the project, and then we go to Xcode and we create a new project. And I will call that hot reloading demo. I store it in my experiments folder. And I start by removing the storyboard because, in my opinion, storyboards are just for prototyping, not for developing apps. So let's remove that. And we also have to change in the info plist. We have to remove the main storyboard, base name, and from the application scene manifest setting, we have also to remove the storyboard name. And now let's also change the name of the view controller, because this is a very bad name for a view controller. We want to describe what this view controller is doing. And what I do often in demo projects is I try to build a login view controller. Okay, let's do that. I changed the name. Let's make it bigger that you can see better what I'm doing. And now we have to tell our project to load that view controller. First of all, we need a window scene. This is done in the scene delegate. We create the window because this is not done by loading from a storyboard. We have to create it ourselves. UI window. We can use our window scene here to set it up. And we set the root view controller of the window to our login, to an instance of our login view controller. And then we have to call the window make key invisible. This is all that's needed to make this project work without the storyboard. To prove that this is correct, we set for now the background color of the view to brown. Now let's build and run. Oh no, not on my mini, but on the simulator. So now we have this and it becomes brown, so we know we load the correct view controller. And now we want to add the hot reloading package to our project. So we add a package dependency. We paste the URL we just copied from GitHub, and we add the package. We only need the hot reloading package, so we select for all the other ones that are not added to the target. And here we have the project, the package. And to figure out how we can add or how we can use the hot reloading feature, because it's already set up. No, I was lying. Wait a minute. We have to add some flags to some compiler flags. Let me see here. Other linker flags, this and that. So other linker flags. We add this one like this. And now we already have set up the hot reloading, but so it's already hot reloading, but we have to react on the hot reloading. And this can be done by using one method that is called by the package. And this is the method is called inject. So we just copy this here and add it to our project. And whenever injected is called by the package, we call here view did load, because at the moment we just do something in view did load. So let's see how this, let's see if this works. I'm running the project. And you see we get the brown background. And you also see in the output, in the log output, that hot reloading is active. It's telling us that it's not connecting to the inject3 app. That's because I haven't started it. I even deleted it before I started the video. So it's falling back to the standalone hot reloading, so to the package itself. And it's now observing the folder at users DOM. This is my root folder where all for the user on my machine. So it's observing all those files. You can set it up that it's only observing a specific directory, but for now we just let it do its thing as it's intended to, or as it's planned. So what we can now change, for example, while the app is running here in the simulator, I can change to a red background. Boom. And what the project did, or the package did, it compiled and injected the result of the compiling back into the running app. How cool is that? And it even, let me show you something really, really cool. For example, you can add a label here. And let's make the label, let's use outer layout. So label translates outer resizing mask into constraints to false. Now we add the label to the view. And even now we already see it. Oh, we have to set the text. Label text hello. And wait a minute. When we now set the label, the position, for example, so ns layout constraints, activate, and we set some simple constraints. Label center x anchor constraints equal to view center x anchor, and the same for y. Label center y anchor to constraints view center y anchor. There you have it. You have what we did. We created or added a label, added to the subview, added it to the view, and set up the layout constraints without recompiling. It's just hot reloading. It compiles the file for us and injects it into the running application. We don't like how this label looks like. We want to have it more prominent. So we can use, for example, can set the font. We want to use dynamic type, and we want to use a very large font like, for example, Title 1, hot reloading, and there we have it. Oh, it didn't remove the other one because we added it up here. That's unfortunate, but we will solve that problem in a minute. So just bear with me. We can also change the background color of the text, or the color of the text. Label, text color, and set it to white. There we have it. You still see the other in the background, but bear with me. We are going to solve that problem in a minute. Okay, this is quite cool already. You can do very useful stuff with that. But there's another project, another package that even helps you further with that. So if we go back to this one, to the oh wait, I have to find it here. It will be linked in the description. There is another package that's called inject. Let's go there. And inject helps you with setting it up in the way that you don't have to think about what to do in the inject method. Let me show you what I mean. So we again copy this link to this project. We go back to our project, and we add package dependency. We add the package, and okay. And what we now can do, we can now remove this extension here, and we can use hosting. And this works like the following. So we now use the inject package, inject, and now we call inject, and we use the hosting view controller, and in the constructor we set up our view view controller we want to hot reload. And what this does is, whenever the hot reloading is triggered by the other package, by the hot reloading package, this inject package calls this constructor that's within this parenthesis and injects the result into the running application. And this results in something like that. Let me show you. So again, we have our project running, and if I now go back to let's change the text to yellow, for example. Boom. And we don't have the strange problem with still see visible other elements with the method we used before. Let me show you that this is actually the case by making the text smaller. You don't see the text that was bigger. It's reloading and removing all the other things you had before. And this is perfect if you are prototyping a view or changing something and you want to get hot reloading to see quick feedback what's going on in your view. Yeah, and you can even do something like what I do usually. I have a view, so let's create a view here. And sometimes the hot reloading crashes. When you do something that's not supported by hot reloading, then the app crashes, but this is not a problem. You just rerun and everything is set up again. So you don't have to do anything anymore. It's really convenient. So let's add a view. I call it login view. And let's do what we did in the other thing here by adding a label. So I set up a label here, and this is something that makes the app crash a lot. When I add properties or sometimes methods, then often it crashes. But then we just start again, and hot reloading is set up again. So I add a label here, and I let Xcode add the convenient initializer. And here we have to call super, init with frame, and we have to add the label, UI label translates auto-resizing mask into constraints false. And then we add the label to, or first of all, we change the background color to, I don't know, what should we use? Maybe gray. And we add the label to the view. And now I save. And it tells me that something went wrong. So this is something, could not locate compile command, blah, blah, blah. And that is because I added the file login view. Hot reloading doesn't know how to work with that. So what I do now, I just stop and rerun. And we are back in the game. I can now change the code here in the view controller. So I remove everything. I add it here in the view did load, and I call load view. And in load view, I set up the view that has to be loaded for this view controller. And wait a minute, there's a bug. And now we have the gray view. And I can now add again the label. I added already the label. I set up the text of the label. Awesome. And let's also do the label font is the preferred font for text style title, or let's make a large title. And you see already it's already there, even though we haven't added some layout constraints. Let's do that. Layout constraints, activate. We again put it in the middle, or no, let's put it at the top of the view. I have pinning constraints in my snippet library. So let's wait a minute. So like this label. We add it to the super view constant. Let's make it for now 16, and for the top one we use 30, and we also use the safe area layout guide. For the leading and trailing, that's okay, and the bottom we will remove. And now we have the awesome label at the right position. I didn't recompile, I just saved what I did, and then it's recompiling everything. For the sake of demonstration, let's add a text field, user name text field, UI text field, and we have to set it up. Username text field, UI text field, and we use the I think it's border style, yes. Rounded rect is good. And we put both of them into a stack view. Let stack view, UI stack view, arranged subviews, label, username text field. This stack view should be vertical. First of all, we set up that we can use it in auto layout with auto layout constraints, false. And then we set the stack view axis to vertical. It is compiling, but doesn't use our stack view yet. So we have to add the stack view here, this, and we can reuse the constraints we already, that was wrong. I have to add it here in add subview stack view. And let's see if it worked. Yes, we now have our a text field here, but in we already found a bug because we used a leading constraint of 16, but a trailing constraint also of 16. But when we use the trailing constraint, we have to flip it, so it has to be minus 16. And now it looks good, but they are too. The space between them is too small. So let's add a spacing of 20. Awesome. Let's add placeholder. Username text field placeholder is username. How cool is that? And this is how you add hot reloading to your UIKit app. You can also use that for Swift UI applications. You can see how this is done in the description of those packages. I link all the packages I used here in the description, so have a look and add hot reloading to your own applications. Have fun developing. See you next time. Bye.